y'all, welcome to Cooking Revelations. If you're new here, hi, I'm Michelle, and we're gonna cook and review recipes to hopefully make dinner just a little bit easier for everybody. If you're returning, welcome back. Glad y'all liked it so much. So tonight, we're gonna be cooking cottage pie. It's the same premise as shepherd's pie, but I just recently learned that if you cook it with lamb, it's shepherd's pie. If you cook it with ground beef, like I'm going to do today, then it's cottage pie. So go ahead, subscribe, like, comment, and hit that notification bell and get notified every time I post a video. Let's get cooking. All right, y'all. So today we're gonna start on the potatoes. Now these are just 6 potatoes I had in the very bottom of my pantry. They're already starting to grow like the little islets and stuff. And this is a perfect recipe if you've just got some potatoes sitting at the bottom of your pantry that need to be cooked up. Great way to use them, great way. So I'm gonna cook my personal mashed potato recipe that my family loves, is good, and I know will work well. If you want to use the actual recipe from foodnetwork.com, just look Alton Brown up on there. I can try and link it down below. Or make your own mashed potato, whatever your family prefers. So I've got half and half. If I don't have half and half, I use whipping cream. If I don't have whipping cream, I just use milk. Just some butter. I don't measure, just whatever butter, a little chunk. I prefer cream cheese. It adds just this really nice texture, this really nice tang to it, but I don't have any, so sour cream works just as well. And I generously salt my potato water, so that way it soaks in all that salty water while it's cooking, because we all know potatoes basically taste like nothing. So I really don't use salt after the potatoes are cooked and I'm mashing. I really only use pepper, but as we all know, we taste test around here, so season to taste. All right, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna get these peeled up, chopped up, and I'll meet you back here at the stove where I've got a pot of water boiling. All right, and while we get the potatoes boiling over here, we're gonna go ahead and start on this amazing filling. So I've just got some chopped onion. I've got 3 cloves in here because a little tiny one fell off, and more garlic is never bad. So that's all diced up. I've got some rosemary, some thyme, olive oil. I'm using 2 pounds of ground beef, but this is just organic grass-fed ground beef from Aldi. Love their meats. Now, it does ask for a carrot. It asks for a chopped carrot and some peas and corn. I'm lazy, so I'm just using mixed vegetables from Aldi. Honestly, it has green beans, which the recipe doesn't call for, but it's not gonna be that big of a difference. We're gonna have 2 tablespoons of flour because we're gonna wanna thicken this up and make a nice gravy with it. And we're also going to have a cup of chicken broth. I make mine using this Knorr powder. So I've just got a pot of boiling water with about 1.5 cups in there, and I'm just gonna add like a nice big spoonful in there once it starts boiling. Worcestershire sauce, and then you're gonna want 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. I find this better. It works, it saves really good. I just find it at Winn-Dixie, and it's better than the cans in my opinion, because you can keep this and save this. Because I buy cans, I use 2 tablespoons or 2 teaspoons of the tomato paste, and then the can, it's ruined. The rest of it you gotta throw away. So this saves on waste. Perfect. So we're gonna wanna get our pan nice and warm, and we're gonna add the olive oil to it. While we've got that heating up, let's go ahead and add some powder to our water here and get our chicken broth going. And just a nice big spoonful, because, I mean, how are you gonna make chicken broth taste bad? So we'll mix that, get that all gradually dissolved and stirred in. We'll let it heat for just a little bit. And now we're gonna add our onion and our garlic to the pan. All right, and we're gonna let the onions and garlic go until they're a little bit softened. So about 3 to 4 minutes. You just wanna be careful about burning your garlic. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and make this chicken broth. Oh, y'all, my eyes are watering from the onions, I'm sorry. Ooh, that was potent. That's a potent onion, y'all. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and check these potatoes real quick, and then when we come back, we'll start adding up the rest of our ingredients. All right, my potatoes are done. They were fork tender, so I went ahead, I just drained them. I've got them over there right now setting, and we'll go ahead and get them mashed up. But first, I've got my ground beef in here, nice and browned. And you don't want to drain it, because what we're going to do is add 2 tablespoons of flour right into here. Just sprinkle it right in and stir. So we want to, this grease will thicken up, and we just want to get everything coated. So we're just going to coat everything in the flour. And you're going to want to cook this for about a minute, because you want that flour taste to cook out, and you just want everything to become nice and incorporated and start thickening. All right, so that's all incorporated. So we're gonna go ahead and add the tomato paste. So that's 2 tablespoons. Now I'm not measuring any seasonings. If you want exact memberships, I will link this recipe from Food Network down below. So I'm just adding a little rosemary. And thyme. Worcestershire sauce, just some gloves. I love Worcestershire sauce. I will add a bunch of it to a dish. All right. And we've got the chicken broth. All right. Everything a nice stir. All right, now we're gonna let this come to a boil. We're gonna cover it, and we're gonna simmer it on low for about 10 to 12 minutes until the gravy becomes nice and thick and coats everything, and it's awesome deliciousness. All right, while I've got my meat over there smelling good and simmering and making a gravy, I've got my potatoes over here, and we're gonna get them mashed up. So first, I'm just gonna add in some butter, however much you want, really. All right. All right, and once you got that butter nice and melted in the potatoes, we're gonna add sour cream or cream cheese, whichever you prefer, and some pepper. Sorry, y'all, I forgot my tasting spoon. I don't know how I let that happen. I just want a base taste. I don't want to add too much pepper, and then all you're eating is peppery mush. So to me, I don't want to add any more salt. If when you taste it, go ahead and add more salt if you'd like. So I'm just gonna add a dollop of sour cream right into the potatoes and some pepper. Now I just add a little bit of my liquid, my dairy, just a little bit at a time. I don't measure it. I just want it to become the consistency that I like. My family doesn't want it soupy. We like the mashed potatoes with some structure. So I'm just gonna add a little bit here, and we'll get everything blended up. All right, you guys, this looks pretty good. get in here and take a bite. It's such a simple recipe. Like, you see people making mashed potatoes all the time, and it's just like, add this, do this, warm that. Like, this is so simple. My teenager could do it, and it just tastes like creamy, buttery mashed potatoes. So I've got these going. Let's go ahead back over to the meat mixture, and we're gonna take a look and see what we've got. All right, dinner is coming together, you guys. We've got our mashed potatoes all cooked and mashed, ready to go on top of this. We've got our gravy and our meat that is just simmering away. Let's go ahead, take this lid off, and see what we've got. Ooh. You guys, this is so nice and thick. All of the meat, the onions have just melted. And I like to keep, when it says minced garlic, I like to keep mine a little bit thicker, especially when it's cooking in something like this. Because to me, a not professionally trained cook, it just melts and becomes soft. And it's not this harsh chunk of garlic that you're biting into. It gets sweet and like caramelized. All right, you guys, I say this is the perfect time to go ahead and add my frozen vegetables. Right on here. And now I didn't use my whole bag of frozen veggies. I don't want this to be overdone with vegetables, and then that's what you're doing. You're not like savoring the meat and the gravy and the textures, and it's just crunching the whole time. So let's give this a taste, as always. And it is everything you want in a cottage pie. The gravy is thick and so deep and rich with flavor. And you can taste the seasonings. Now at this time you could add more salt and pepper, obviously, you know, season to taste, always. For me, this is fine. All right, I'm gonna turn my burner off. And all I'm gonna do is add this mixture right to my casserole dish. And as always, we are using the trusty, tried and true Pioneer Woman, because we love a little bit of redrumming around this house. And then all you do is just take these mashed potatoes and just clock them right on top there. Big piles, because what we're gonna do is flatten them out. And just take these potatoes. I'm not very great at it. I'm messy, as we all know. So I'm just gonna spread these out the best that I can, corner to corner, all around the edges. And try to get them as even as possible without making a huge, listen guys, I'm over here making a huge mess. I'm dropping vegetables on the floor. All right, and now you can add some shredded cheese to this on top and cook it and melt that cheese, and it adds just this really great tangy, cheesy flavor. But I have a little one who doesn't like cheese, so we're just gonna completely leave it off. Now, we're gonna wanna go ahead and put it in a 400-degree oven for about 25 minutes, and then we'll be back and ready to look at how great it is. All right, guys, the timer went off. It's time to grab our cottage pie. It smells delicious in here. So let's see what we've got. Oh. This nice, beautiful, bubbling pie. Oh, guys, come here. Look at all of that gravy. Everything just boiling. So delicious. So we're gonna let this sit for about 15 minutes, let everything come together and cool down. And when I meet you again, I'll be at the table and we can eat together. All right. So I let it sit for 15 minutes. I didn't buckle and do it sooner. But here we are. We've got this nice gravy, shiny, thick, coats everything, and then these mashed potatoes that just melt into that gravy. So let's take a taste. You know, I always say this is a family favorite for a reason. It is so hearty, but so light at the same time. You know, you've got that sturdy protein meat and this nice thick gravy. And like I said before, these mashed potatoes that just melt into this. And then you've got a nice crunch, a nice freshness when you eat the vegetables. I would definitely make this one of your routine dinners. All right, guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I really hope you try this recipe out. If you try this recipe, or if you have any suggestions, any recipes you'd like me to review, go ahead, comment below. Newcomers, don't forget to subscribe, click that like and that bell, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.